our distinguished guests, our highly esteemed parents, committed and dedicated members of staff, our brilliant, outstanding students, every other person present here this morning. Permit me to say a warm good morning. It's with great joy that I stand here to welcome each and every one of us to the first edition of Benford International School Models United Nations. I think you can put your hands together, particularly for the secondary session. This is the first of its kind that we are doing here, and we are glad we have you around to see what we are doing. That BISMUN is not just an event, it's not just another program. It's a platform that Benford International School is providing for our students to have a global understanding, to have a global touch. What is obtainable globally, we bring it here to our doorpost. That's the essence and the objective of doing what we are about doing, or what we are doing this morning. We are intentional in Benford to actually raise global children that can hit the United States of America and they are not feeling inferior. They can go to UK and they will assume the office of leadership and they will perform excellently, brilliantly well.
President Xi Jinping, Your Excellency, sir. Yes, thank you, Your Excellency.
All right.
Yes, sir. Your Excellency. All right, the Republic of India, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Narendra Modi. Your Excellency, sir, you're welcome to BISMUN 2025. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I welcome all the way from the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency, President Cyril Ramaphosa. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take you to the superpower of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I welcome His Excellency, President of the United States of America, in person of President Donald Trump. All the way to South America, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking you to the Federative Republic of Brazil. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I welcome Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Yes, you can clap, you can clap, you can clap. Thank you, Your Excellency, for gracing our occasion. United Nations Executive Council as they take the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Antonio Guterres for his opening speech.
Good morning, honorable delegates, members of the Executive Council, distinguished guests, faculty advisors, and fellow students. It is an honor to stand here before you today as the Secretary General of the United Nations. I want to firstly welcome all of you to the 2025 edition of BISMUN, that is Benford International School Models United Nations. This year's theme, Education for Sustainable Development, country's perspective on poverty eradication touches on one of the most pressing issues of our time, poverty. Education is not only literacy, it's more than literacy, it is empowerment. It is innovation for a suitable world. As we gather here, each representing diverse nations, let us remember, we are not just students, we are global citizens. Let us debate with respect, open mind, and propose solutions that reflect empathy, research, and responsibility. I commend the efforts of every delegate, every advisor, and the planning committee for putting all of this together. Let us make this assembly not just a dissimulation, but a training for the future for all of us in leadership, critical thinking, globally. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for this opportunity to address this great assembly on the theme Education for Sustainable Development, Country's Perspective on Poverty Reduction. The U.S., though wealthy, faces persistent poverty and inequality. In 2023, 11.1% of Americans, about 36.8 million, lived below the poverty line. Child poverty rose from 5.2% 2021 to 12.4% 2022, showing how economic shocks impact families. Education is compulsory and widely available, but disparities exist. School funding relies heavily on local taxes, meaning poor districts often get $1,000 to $1,800 less per student than wealthier ones. Education's impact. Poverty and education are closely linked. Children from low-income families face greater school disruptions and lower achievements, leading to reduced lifetime earnings. Higher education levels generally mean higher income. Improving early learning in poor communities boosts employment and reduces reliance on welfare. Federal programs like Head Start provide preschool and services to low-income children. Title I directs funds to high-poverty schools for added supports. Free and reduced price lunch programs offer vital nutrition. Pell Grants and students' loans help low-income students access higher education. Though debt remains a barrier, pandemic relief and tax credits have also helped ease family poverty and support schooling. Challenges. Wealthier districts offer better resources than inner city or rural schools, fueling achievement gaps tied to race and income. The U.S.'s decentralized education system complicates reforms. College costs deter lower-income students, and political gridlock can stall support for key programs like Title I. Solutions. To reduce poverty through education, the U.S. must increase funding equity for poor districts. Universal pre-K would support early learning. Expanding career and technical education gives non-college bound students job-ready skills. Students' debt relief could improve access to higher education. Community programs and after-school support help keep at-risk youth engaged. Honorable Chair, the United States recognizes education as key to breaking poverty cycles. While education is universally available, we are committed to providing extra support in high-poverty areas through Title I and Head Start. We will continue investing in early learning and vocational training and welcome global collaboration on education, equity, and child welfare. Thank you.
Save us.
Your Excellency, sir. Please hang on a second as we have a few questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you for that amazing speech, Mrs. President. If I may, can I ask you a question? In 2023, there was poverty and inequality in America. What were the measures that Americans used to eradicate or completely almost eradicate the issue?
By increasing local taxes, security, and education.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, I'm going to move over to the Executive Council of the United Nations to introduce their various president. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please permit me as I introduce Her Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of South Africa.
Africa faces severe poverty and inequality. Over 60% live below the upper middle income poverty line, and unemployment exceeds 30%. While basic education is widely accessible and free for over 13 million learners, learning outcomes are poor. By 2021, about 80% of grade 4 learners couldn't understand a simple text. Adult literacy stands at 87%, but student achievement remains very low. Education's impact. Education is vital to reducing poverty and inequality. In South Africa, weak education, especially in low-fee schools, limits job prospects and entrenches inequality. Improving early reading and math in the poorest schools is key to increasing incomes and social mobility. National initiatives. The government provides free schooling, school feeding programs, and social grants that indirectly support learning. Key policies prioritize teacher training and resources for disadvantaged schools, with support from UNICEF and the World Bank. Initiatives like early grade reading and NGO partnerships aim to strengthen foundational skills. Challenges. Inequality persists, especially in townships and rural schools, lacking books, labs, and qualified teachers. Funding disparities mean poorer districts, often with mostly black or colored students. They receive far less than wealthier ones. Weak infrastructure, dropouts, HIV/AIDS, and fragmented reading efforts further hinder progress. Solutions. Improve early and primary education through quality teaching, proven reading programs in home languages, better teacher training, and upgraded facilities in poor areas. Ensure equitable funding so low-income schools receive more resources. Expand vocational and adult education to support lifelong learning. Maintain free schooling and meals, and link social grants more closely to school attendance. The delegation of South Africa believes education is central to defeating poverty. Well, access is universal. Too many children lack basic skills. We are investing in early learning and teacher development. We call on all nations to share best practices in equitable funding and literacy. Through quality education, we can build a more inclusive future for all.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to address this august assembly on the theme Education for Sustainable Development. India's perspective on poverty eradication. India today as a nation has been transformed by education and still driven by the urgent mission to make sure that no child, no family, and no community is left behind. We are proud to inform you that poverty in India has declined dramatically from 61.8% in 2011 to 28.1% in 2022, lifting over 378 million people out of poverty. Rural poverty fell from 69% to 32.5% and urban poverty for 3.5 to 17.2%. But while all these gains are significant, over 70 million Indians still live in poverty, and the path to dignity and prosperity begins with one transformative force: education. Education is not just about schooling. It's the foundation of economic opportunity, personal dignity, and national progress. Since the Right to Education Act of 2009, education has been free and compulsory for all children aged 6 to 14. This legal right has opened school doors to millions. Programs like Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan have boosted enrollment across the country. However, 29% of children still drop out, especially among marginalized communities. Many remain in school do not meet grade level expectations, as reported by UNICEF. We are addressing this gap by strengthening early learning and linking education to long-term development. India has launched several ambitious programs to ensure education is inclusive, equitable, and impactful. Beti Bachao and Beti Bachao, which empowers the girl child through education and protection. Kasova Gandhi Balika Vadiyala, providing residential education for disadvantaged girls. Scholarship programs for economically disadvantaged students to access higher education and adult literacy and skilling programs, especially in the rural and informal sectors. Together, these initiatives reflect our belief that education must be accessible to all, especially women, rural communities, and historically disadvantaged people. Despite these efforts, we face several persistent barriers. Barriers like shortages of trained teachers, especially in rural areas, high dropout rates in secondary education, child labor, particularly in economically vulnerable families, and gender and caste disparities. Our way forward. We are launching a new phase of national efforts, Literacy Mission 2.0, which focuses on universal access to early childhood, primary and secondary education, skilling up vocational training and adult literacy, particularly for women and informal workers, expanding digital literacy to bridge the urban-rural divide, strengthening teacher recruitment and training, and enhancing community participation in school governance and equality monitoring. Honorable Chair, India affirms that literacy is a human right, not the privilege. Education is the single most effective tool we have to eradicate poverty, strengthen democracy, and build peaceful societies. We welcome collaboration with the global community in areas such as teacher training and capacity building, technology and digital learning tools, best practices in inclusive education, and school governance. Your Excellency, let us work together as nation, as partners, as fellow humans, to build a world where every child lives, every voice counts, and every person thrives. When we educate, we empower. When we empower, we eliminate poverty. And when poverty ends, peace begins. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Jagat.
How is India using technology to improve education?
We've introduced programs like Digital India and platforms like Diksha, which deliver digital learning resources to rural and urban students alike. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like to call on Your Excellency, the President of China, Xi Jinping, to address this great assembly.
Honorable Excellencies, Honorable Chair, dear parents and students, I am the President of China speaking on the topic Education for Sustainable Development, China's perspective on poverty eradication and education. China has made significant impact in poverty eradication and education. Since 1980, around 800 million people have been lifted from poverty due to an investment in education. In 2021, my government announced total rural poverty eradicated, meaning there were no poor people in China. Primary and secondary school level enrollment is almost 100%. 95.7% have finished their 9-year compulsory school education. In 2024, the UN issued a report which said China had increased investment in education and healthcare, along with building strong human capital. Today, China's educated workers run our manufacturing and technology sectors. Even though we've done all this, we still have our challenges. Some children in rural areas don't have access to these technologies that other people do. So my government and I are working towards providing smart boards, teachers, and education for all. Honorable Chair, Honorable Excellency, I advise we all come together to make education free for all. Education is power, education is key.
What are your plans for the next 10 years?
In the next 10 years, all the youth of China should be educated and all have access to job opportunities.
Permit me, as I invite one of my own very close friends, His Excellency Luis Inácio Lula da Silva, the President of Brazil.
Good day, Your Excellencies, the Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen here. I want to thank you for this opportunity for bringing me here to address this great assembly. Brazil has made significant progress in the reduction of poverty, though challenges remain. The share of people living below the World Bank's poverty line is $6.85 per day, fell from 31.6% in 2022 to 27.4% in 2023. Extreme poverty is now at 4.4%, its lowest since 2012. Education access is nearly universal, yet only about 2% of primary-age children are out of school. Literacy is high, 93%, but nearly 47% of late primary students could not read proficiently. Education's impact in Brazil. Education plays a key role in poverty reduction. Conditional cash transfer programs like the Bolsa Familia, now Auxílio Brazil, tie benefits to school attendance, helping families invest in human capital. These efforts, along with job growth, helped 8.7 million Brazilians escape poverty between 2022 and 2023. Isn't that impressive? Please can I get a round of applause? The national initiatives. Programs like the Bolsa Familia link cash aid to school and health requirements. The federal funded resources ensure basic education funding across states, and Brazil provides free education throughout high school. School meal programs like the PNAE keep poor children in school. The National Education Plan from 2014 to 2024 sets goals for quality, equity, and teacher development. Local projects promote vocational training and distance learning for remote areas. The challenges. Education inequality is stark. Wealthier regions have far better schools than poorer rural areas, especially in the north and northeast. Overcrowded classes, underpaid teachers, and COVID-related learning losses worsen the gap. Children in favelas and indigenous communities face lower attainment. Despite high spendings, inefficiency, and corruption hinder progress. Solutions. Expand and strengthen social programs like the Bolsa Familia. Invest more in early childhood, education, and teacher quality, especially in remote areas.
We also plan on supporting digital and bilingual education for the under-reserved communities, improve learning outcome, and tracking, fostering public-private partnership to build more schools for those who are not in school. Honorable Chair, Brazil affirms that education is vital to ending poverty. Our Also Familiar program has helped millions by linking cash aid to school attendance. We're expanding preschool access and improving rural education. We welcome global cooperation and teacher training and digital tools. By investing in inclusive education, we aim to break the poverty cycle and build a better future for Brazil. Thank you.
If I may, how does the Bolsa Familia program help the millions of
The Bolsa Familia program links cash aid to school and health requirements. The federal funding ensures education funding across states, especially in the North and Northeast.
Today's discussion highlighted common challenges such as lack of quality education and proposed solutions like curricular improvement and reform and international participation. My distinguished guests, thank you for coming. I hereby adjourn this session to June 26, 2026. Thank you.